Well, history shows black families are left at a huge disadvantage when it comes to everyday necessities.
And Zella, that includes housing discrimination, credit inequity, disparities in healthcare and in education. It leaves black families with little to inherit, even less to pass on. It's hard to build generational wealth that way. WDSU reporter Casey Ferran shows you how one 50-year-old institution pushed through those barriers.
As the president and CEO of Liberty Bank and Trust, Alden McDonald has made it his mission to seek opportunities to change the world and improve the lives of everyday people.
One of my biggest passions, I guess, is what can I do to help people? And that's how I live every day.
His upbringing was in no way easy, so he strives to make things easier for those who follow.
I grew up in a 2-bedroom shotgun house. My father was a waiter, didn't have any money. Didn't own a house. I thought I was going to be a bricklayer or a postman.
So how did he end up becoming the first African American in the state to be a bank officer? Dr. Norman Francis, the former president of Xavier University, explains.
He was at Xavier his first, 2 years, I think, and he came into my office and said, you know what, I think I'm leaving Xavier. I said, where you going? So I'm going to banking at LSU Banking School.
After graduating, McDonald began his banking career in 1966 at International City Bank in New Orleans. 6 years later, Francis approached him with a proposition.
And I walked in and said, you know, you want to come with me? I'd like to have you be the president of Liberty Bank. Oh, no. Twice I asked him, no.
He came to me a couple of times. So on the third time, I did accept. And I had only been in banking 6.5 years. I was 29 years old. And, you know, being in banking only a short period of time, I wasn't foolish enough to think I knew everything, but he gave me the encouragement.
In 1972, Liberty Bank opened its doors in a trailer on Tulane Avenue.
In 1972, Liberty Bank was founded. The need was evident on their first day in business.
Over 2,000 people in a parking lot waiting to go into a trailer to open an account. That was exciting.
Year after year, they've been motivated by their customers, of which about 80% are African American.
They were proud to be a part of change. They were proud to be a part of growth. This is something that the African American community didn't have back then. They couldn't go to a bank.
From its meager beginnings in a trailer to now owning 16 branches in 10 states, Liberty Bank has always been a place that's opened doors of opportunity and strives to create access by advocating on behalf of underserved communities.
We know that there are sound loans that could be made that are not being made now.
Through the years, Liberty Bank has been a passionate advocate for homeownership, economic development, education, and health care. In the late 1980s, Liberty Bank helped thousands of residents to become first-time home buyers and has financed the development of thousands of businesses.
We don't do things the normal way. We find different ways of helping people. We find different ways of helping people to buy homes. We find different ways of helping people to start a business, to grow a business. So we have to be innovators.
The bank's commitment to education is reflected in its investment in schools from kindergarten to college and advocating for better pay for teachers. Understanding healthcare disparities and the effect on the African American community, McDonald funded the Diabetes Research Center at New Orleans East Hospital.
When we saw something different, when we saw something wrong, we all came together as a people, as a community, to make the change.
As the bank celebrates its golden anniversary, it reaches a new milestone. As the largest financial institution in the United States owned by African Americans, it has assets of more than $1 billion. McDonald says he never doubted they'd reach this moment.
You can dream and you can succeed in making your dream come through.
And this Friday, Ambassador Harold Doley is being honored by the New York Stock Exchange as its first African-American seat holder. Ambassador Doley will represent Liberty Bank by ringing the closing bell, which we will have available for you to see right here on WDSU.